Namaste. Welcome to the yoga practice. Today, we're just going to start by taking a very deep breath in, fully exhaling, remembering that we can breathe, getting in touch with the feeling of our sitting bones on the mat. Close your eyes gently. Try to inhale very deeply so that you feel your belly move. Fully exhale. And we're going to focus today on working your whole body. And for that, we first are going to put the palms of our hands in front of us on the ground. Reach to a farthest comfortable position. Don't try to reach too far. You don't need to go anywhere too far. Just feel a nice stretch in your shoulders and let your body naturally sink down lower into the bend. Drop your head between your shoulders. And do nothing here for several breaths, sinking deeper into the bend. You can stay here for as long as you like. Feel your breath naturally become ocean breath. Feel your throat producing the whooshing sound. Sense your lower back. Sense your shoulders. I'm going to start gently coming up from here. Come back up. Stay very still for a second. And after that, I'm going to open my arms very wide, palms forward. Feel my shoulder blades coming closer to one another. And I'm just going to stay like that for a second. And once I'm comfortable with the sensation of open chest and my shoulder blades close together, I'm going to move my arms behind me, grab my wrists or interlace my fingers there. Find a good, comfortable position. And then bend down, lifting my arms up. Watch yourself. Don't lift your arms too much if you're just starting. You just need to sense your shoulders opening, your chest opening. My fingers are interlaced right now. You can just grab your wrists and stay here for another moment. I'm gonna come right up, let go of my wrists, or unlock my fingers, shake my wrists to release the tension. Take a breath in, fully exhale, and then I'm gonna come into Paschimottanasana. First coming into the staff pose, and then I'm just gonna bend again and search for the farthest comfortable point. Am I gonna grab my ankles today? Am I gonna grab my toes? Here, what we're gonna do, we're going to spend a moment sinking deeper into the pose. Relaxing our shoulders, feeling the whole back half of our body lengthening. Give yourself several more breaths here. And then what we're gonna do, we're going to try and reach even further. And mentally count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then see if we can reach even further, lowering our face even lower toward our knees. Count to 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then see if we can reach even lower. Sink down even deeper into the pose. And here we're gonna stay for several good breaths. Before letting go, gently coming up. And we're gonna spend a moment here. You can support yourself with your hands if you'd like to. Just feel the tension leaving your lower back. Look up. Your lower back feels very tense right now. You can gently roll your legs over the mat, left to right and right to left. And then from here, we're going to dig our heels into the ground and just do a short counter pose because we were bending forward so much. We're going to do the reverse plank and stay in the reverse plank for several breaths. Watch yourself. Try to stay for at least 5 breaths. You don't have to. Well, you just want to give your lower back a chance to move in another direction. And from here, we're just gonna start moving over the mat so that we can come onto our back. And coming onto our back, we're gonna bend our legs. Find a good comfortable position for both of our shoulder blades and our buttocks. Try to feel that your lower back is actually floating a little bit over the mat right now. Try to follow the spinal curve with your mind's eye. And then once you're all comfortable here and feel like you're stable, lift your pelvis off the mat. You can interlace your fingers under your buttocks and get into the bridge pose. Don't lift too much if you don't want to, or you can really do that if you want to intensify the pose for yourself, because I'm planning on staying here for another several breaths, so I'm just going to not lift too much up. Another couple of breaths, and I'm just gonna lower back onto the mat. Keep my legs bent and start pulling my heels closer to my buttocks. And once I do, I'm gonna grab my knees and pull my knees close to my chest. Once I find that my sacrum is floating above the mat, I will lift my head, lift my face, and look between my legs, and stay like that for several breaths. You don't actually have to look. You can close your eyes. Another couple of breaths. And I'm gonna go back down. Keep grabbing my knees. Now I'm gonna slide my head to grab myself under my knees and hold and make my legs straight so that my toes are pointing up. And I'm gonna breathe here for a moment. Just getting used to the sensation of my legs being up. And then once I'm done getting used to that, I'm gonna lift my shoulders, my head, everything that's on top of my body from the mat. Okay, sideways here. To side. And gently pull your knees close to your shoulders. Another breath. And we're gonna let go. Go back onto our mat. Keep our legs where they are. And from here, I'm gonna let my hands drop. I'm gonna roll over and get into the plow pose. With my feet touching the ground upon my hand, my arms parallel to my body, and I'm gonna stay here in the plow for several breaths. Another breath, and I'm gonna roll back up into the seated position. Take a breath here. Spend a moment motionless because I want to give my blood the chance to come back into my body from my hand. And from here, I'm just going to support myself with my hands to the back of my body, my fingers facing backwards. And I'm gonna lift my pelvis up and look behind my head. Look at the world upside down. Spend a moment here as well. Don't worry if your body is swaying. Just keep breathing. Your arms are probably gonna tell you first that you need to be done with the pose. So watch your arms, and once you feel like you're done, just lower back onto the mat. Take another breath. And we're gonna go back to the staff pose. Straightening our legs. Relax here. Make sure that our back is straight. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go back to grabbing the farthest comfortable point on our legs. However, this time around, we're not gonna bend. We're gonna look forward. Don't forget to breathe. Listen to the sound of your breath here. And as you do, without letting go of your toes, start moving your legs further and further apart until you are comfortably open. You don't want anything that's close to full split here. You just want to add some nice stretch to your legs. Keep breathing. Another breath. And now let go of your toes. Put your hands, palms down on the mat. And just lower your face toward the mat. And take another couple of breaths here. And as you do, just notice how stable your base is on the ground right now. how your legs form a triangle shape and how this stable geometric shape supports your torso. Let's take another breath. Get up and come back down on our back. Make sure you're comfortable here. Spend a moment just lying here with your legs open. And then we're going to start bending our legs, kicking back, grab our toes, and come to the happy baby. And in the happy baby, you can probably sense how your knees are getting closer and closer to the ground with each and every breath. Opening your hips. Feel the heaviness in your hip joints. Just don't forget to breathe. Give yourself as much time as you need here. This is one of the most comforting poses that you can assume. I'm going to give it another 3 breaths here. And after that, I'm going to start straightening my legs and putting them closer together so that again my sacrum is floating above the ground. And your legs might start shaking. Don't worry about that. Just try to breathe and comfortably relax as much as you can here. Another breath here, and I'm gonna let go of my toes and get into the shoulder stand from here. For the shoulder stand, again, you want a triangle shape made out of your elbows on the mat. Support yourself with your palms. You can point your toes, or you can just relax your foot, both of your feet. Do whatever feels comfortable. Another breath of the shoulder stand. And I'm gonna start putting my legs as wide apart as I can without leaving the shoulder stand. Don't forget to breathe. Another couple of breaths here. And I'm going to close my legs, stay on my shoulders, bend my knees, and put my face as close to my knees as I can. For another several breaths. And then I'm gonna let go. Roll over. Get fully on my back. Take a restorative breath here. If you'd like, You can even do the reclined butterfly here by bending your knees, putting the soles of your feet together, arms parallel to your body, and from here just relax. Your hips are going to open, your back's going to relax. Feel the movement of your belly. It goes up on the inhale as it falls on the exhale. Especially now, after the relatively intense poses where you were on your shoulders, your breaths are more pronounced. So, no reason for us not to watch what our breath is doing right now. Keep breathing. Let's give it 3 more breaths here. And then once you've done with your 3 breaths, we're going to come back to lying down with our legs straight and roll over to our side and spend as much time as we need getting comfortable here. Support yourself with your elbow, and from here what we're gonna do, we're gonna open our legs so that our top leg is pointing to the front, and we're gonna move our torso to look behind our shoulder. It helps to support yourself with your other hand, but you don't have to. If it's easier to just keep it here, do that. And we're gonna have a look at what's going on behind our shoulder here. Keep breathing. Another couple of breaths. And I'm gonna come back up, bend my top leg, grab my toes, and open up into the laughing Buddha pose. Just stay here for a moment. You don't need to worry too much about opening your leg. You cannot keep it straight, just keep it slightly bent like this. Take another breath. Let go of your toes. Put your leg back. And we're gonna roll over to the other side. Do the same thing. Get settled very comfortably. Support ourselves with our elbow. And then point the top leg as far forward as possible. Turn around and look behind our other shoulder. You don't actually have to look. You can keep your eyes closed. Another couple of breaths. And we're gonna put our top leg back. Start bending it. Grab our toes. And open into the laughing Buddha on the other side for several more breaths. And then I'm gonna gently let go of my toes, put my leg back, roll over into my belly. I'm gonna come to the Sphinx pose on my forearms, and I'm gonna spend as much time as I need making sure that my pubic bone is comfortable on the mat, that my hips are comfortable on the mat, and only then, when I lift up, straightening my arms here into the cobra, keep your pelvis on the mat, feel a nice deep bend in your spine. The lower spine, your mid spine is engaged right now. I'm going to take another couple of breaths here. And from here, I'm just going to start flopping down back into Sphinx. And then once my solar plexus is on the mat, I'm going to put my arms parallel to my body. I'm not going to lower my face to the mat yet. And I'm going to lift both my legs and my arms into the locust. Look straight ahead. Keep breathing here, even though your belly is constricted. Another breath. I'm gonna lower down and back into the Sphinx. And from the Sphinx, I'm gonna bend one leg, grab one of my feet, try to stretch my whole leg by trying to touch my heel on my buttock here. I'm gonna do it on the other side too. And once I feel I'm all nice and ready, I'm gonna lower my chest back onto the ground, get into the bow pose with my chest off the ground, both of my hands grabbing my feet. Gonna look forward. Don't forget to breathe. And with the breath, you're gonna notice the rocking motion of your body. Another breath. And I'm gonna let go. Go back to the Sphinx. Dig my toes into the mat. Support myself with my hands as well. And swing my whole body back so that I can come onto my hands and knees. And from my hands and knees, I'm going to sink down back onto my forearms, lift and extend one of my legs. Stay here for a moment, several breaths. And on the way back, I'm gonna pull that knee close toward my chest, lift from my forearms onto my palms. Another couple of breaths. And I'm gonna do this whole thing on the other side. Back to my hands and knees. Make sure that I'm stable. Down on my forearms, lift and extend my leg. And on the way back, lifting myself back into my hands, pull the knee as close to my chest as possible. And lower. And come down again onto my hands and knees. Dig my heels, dig my toes into the ground. And jump up. And start walking my hands back toward my toes. And from here, I'm just going to get up. Spend a moment here again, getting accustomed to the position of my head. It's no longer down. So I want to give myself a moment here. And then I'm going to take a huge step to the front. Spend as much time as I need finding a comfortable position for both of my feet. And then I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back, my palms facing my body. And then I'm going to bend down here into the pyramid. And stay in the pyramid for several breaths. I'm going to come up, change sides. Again, I'm going to find a very good, very stable position for both of my feet. Don't be shy and shuffle and shift however long you need to. Interlace my fingers, put my shoulder blades together, sink down into the pyramid on the other side. I'm going to come up, turn my torso toward the front, check my feet for stability here. And we're gonna do several very delicious forward bends from here. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make sure that my toes are pointing slightly sideways, not to the front. Grab my elbows. Remind myself of my center of mass in my sacral region. And keeping my focus of attention there, I'm gonna sink down toward the ground into this wide-legged ragdoll pose. You want to intensify the bend, you can start swaying gently from side to side, but you don't have to. Just spend some time here before letting your hands drop to the ground. Plant your palms into the ground and start walking them forward so that you can sink your hand in between your arms without bending your arms. Now, the objective here is not to reach far, it's to find the most stable triangle base for your body. You'd probably notice that your arms are not actually supporting a lot of your weight right now. It's the stability of the triangle that your legs are forming right now. Have another breath here. And notice that your body is actually a system of triangles right now. With your mind's eye, trace the triangle that your legs form. Trace the triangle that your legs and your body form. It's going to be at a 90-degree angle to the first one. And from here, we're going to sway our body gently back. Make sure that your hands are somewhere under your chest. And you can start swaying back and forward if you'd like. It's a very soothing motion. Coming back to the initial pose with your head between your shoulders. Couple more. And we're gonna start walking our hands back closer to our torso. And from here, we're gonna sink down low. Bend your arms. If you can get onto your forearms, that's great. If you cannot, that's great as well. Just sink down low here to deepen the bend. And from here, make your arms straight again. Support yourself with your palms. Bend your knees slightly. And come up. Coming up. What you want to do, you want to give yourself some time for your body to adjust to the upright position again. And from here, we're going to turn the torso so that we could go into the lunge. Go into the lunge. Support yourself with your hands and gently lower your back knee onto the mat. And from here, keeping your back leg straight, get down on your forearms again. Take a couple of breaths here. As you're doing all of those multiple forward bends and inversions, putting your heart above your head, just notice what's going on in your head. Notice any thoughts that are there. I'm going to take another breath here before switching to the other side. Back leg straight. Front foot on the ground. Down on your forearms. Sink your head low and keep noticing. Gonna take another breath. Get back onto my palms. Turn my torso to the front. Get into the Sukhasana again. Take a breath. And I'm going to put my palms on the ground in front of me again. Reach for the farthest comfortable position. Sink down low again. This time around now, I would like to try and have the crown of my head as close to the ground as possible. Give yourself time here. And notice what's in your head right now. If you have thoughts here or emotions running through your head, just try to notice them without getting stuck in any of them. And notice that because you were with your head hung down low, your perspective on those thoughts, your perspective on those emotions may be slightly or a lot different than if you were just holding them with your head held up high. So sometimes it does help to look at things upside down, to gain another perspective on whatever's going in your mind today, whatever's going in your emotional world. I'm gonna start getting back up. And as you join me in Shavasana, I would like you to keep this impression of being able to create a completely different perspective onto anything that's going on in your life, really. Any given moment, if you just change the way you look at things, please join me in Shavasana, keeping that with you. Relax, keep listening to your body, and thank you for doing the practice with me. Namaste.